Distaggio here, back at you with some videos. Going to do a blast of videos this weekend, starting with some Dungeon 8, walking you through the whole Dungeon 8. And I call these dungeons by the shards that they give, so this is Dungeon 824, in my opinion, and I don't really do these first 5 dungeons very often, but I did just want to show how I breach them if I were to do them often. And I obviously have Pumpkin Duke leading the way, so I drop him Pumpkin Duke first, and that builds up his energy bar very quickly when he gets aggro from all those army camps. And that allows him to stack up. Cupid procs right away, gets him a double stack within a couple seconds, and then easy peasy from there. All these dungeons I'm going to be using triple magic, and in future video series I'll show you how I do Dungeon 8 with very light to no magic. I can actually do all of Dungeon 8, every dungeon in Dungeon 8 without magic, now that I have 6 hero bases. So, anyhow, here's the next one, and again, I like to come in on this one right at the tip of that cross there, right in that corner, that wedge right there. I just find that that's a good spot to come in at. Didn't get any shards. Alright, let's go ahead and do 26, and I think I'm gemming a little bit, although I don't have many gems, but Dungeon 26, again, I'm looking for an army camp, and I'm looking for Spirit Mage. So basically, Dungeon 8 101 is look for Spirit Mage, and there's either one of two choices. Start at the other end of the board, and try to get them with your random proc effects, such as Spirit Mage. My Spirit Mage magic missiles hit him randomly, kill him, take him out, because if Spirit Mage procs once, my whole team is dead. So the other method, of course, is to attack very near Spirit Mage and then shield. And nice thing about having Ari's Fervor 5 is that that's going to increase the haste, the attack speed of all my heroes very high for a very long time, and so I don't so much have to worry about Spirit Mage anymore because I'm just attacking. When I get close, my heroes are going to take him out before he can get off his 7 shots of magic missiles before he can proc. So I'm really not at a very high risk of losing here. And again, I like to come in near the camps here, fairy dragons, dirty bugs, as I like to call them every now and then. I like to drop near them. I hate this board, by the way. I really hate this board. So I try not to play it. A lot of people want to come in by those 4 ground pounder cannons there. And no, that doesn't work so well. So don't do that. That's alright. They picked up the 30 shards there, and yeah, that's not too bad. So Dungeon 31... this is a couple options on this one, and I'm going to start playing maybe 2 videos per dungeon, starting here pretty soon. But again, look at that little inlet there, the little inlet right there. I just come right in on that inlet, and look at that. I didn't even shield or anything. I just dropped them all in there, and then I, of course, shielded. And I also went with an Ari's Fervor, and I got my hot button there on Restoration, so if anything gets low, but again... this dungeon is actually pretty fun because you get such a large amount of aggro on Pumpkin Duke there. Picked up the 31 shards, and hey, we'll take that. Dungeon 32, no, I actually like this. Starting about here, I start to like all the dungeons. Dungeon 32, I call this the fishy one. See the little fish there? The fish mouth, he's eating a little army camp. That's a fish. I don't know if it is or not, but I love opening right there because those things are basically no risk of killing Pumpkin Duke. Absolutely 0 risk. You know, if you drop your Pumpkin Duke by a camp of fairy dragons, yeah, there's a little bit of a risk that they can all take him out real quick. But there's almost no risk when you go against those guys. Those are the tier 3 troops on the Guardian line. So no risk there. Again, 32, there's really no better spot to start this dungeon than by the dudes up there at the top. However, I do want to show you an alternative here. You can come in by the fairy dragons here at the bottom. That's a second alternative, but it's just a little bit higher risk. But it's also a little bit greater reward in that you probably will finish the dungeon quicker if you have a Pumpkin Duke with Revitalize or Berserk, because he'll charge up a little bit faster and proc, and he'll start stacking, and an attack rate of all my heroes is going to go crazy. Obviously, I have Minotaur here rocking the board there too, so I cleared that one super fast. And let's come to the 34 shard dungeon, and I'm not a huge fan of this one because it's so spread out and there's a lot of walking without procking. Walking without procking, that's no good in this game. You never want to walk without procking. Look at that, I drop open with the shield and drop in the little gap there in the base, and see Spirit Mage, drop near Spirit Mage, take him out, or you drop far from Spirit Mage. In this technique, we dropped very near Spirit Mage, right next to him, in fact. And we were all shielded, so it was okay, and we survived, and I don't think he even procced anyways, but... So we were safe, we were safe. No shards, no shards, that's alright though. 34, 34, 35, alright, I used to like 35 a little bit more, but now I've become a little bit more fond of 36. 36 is one of my favorite dungeons. I'm not going to show it in this video. This is just a real quick, got to catch up, got to get lots of videos up, blasting out 6 videos over the next 3 days. This is going to be part 1 of my Dungeon 8, and this one, look at that, boom, 12 seconds. 12 seconds, very nice. And let's just end it with, oh, we'll do one more, 35 here. Alternative method here. I like to come in on one of the 2 areas there. Basically those 2 inlets on the left. The one right next to Spirit Mage, right? There's a little inlet right there where you can drop. Or the ones right next to the Fairy Dragon Fatties, which is right where I dropped right there. Those 2 spots are the best 2 entry points on Dungeon 35. And look how fast now Pumpkin Duke is just stacking. He's going like crazy. Minotaur, if he gets off 1 proc here, those buildings are going to get toasted. Okay, not quite entirely toasted, but semi-toasted. As always, keep it dirty and dirty up. Lots of videos coming.